Surviving Thailand 101. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Surviving Thailand 101. I'm your host, Vidon Sini, here to break down helpful tips and advice so travelers and expats can have a fantastic time here in Thailand and avoid common cultural faux pas. Working from home, it's been one full year of it, at least for me, that is. And for those who are on the same boat as I am, we've probably turned pro by now. We've probably have our workstation set up on point, setting up a pretty neat routine, treating working from home very seriously as if we're actually physically going out to work. This means, of course, setting the alarm, going to take a shower, putting some decent clothes on, just to look presentable. This means no PJs, just to set, those physical and social boundaries. My tech and devices are always ready to go. So yeah, after one full year of not seeing my boss or my colleagues, I'm getting a hang of it. Might even be an expert by now. And since nobody actually expected that COVID-19 to last and go on for so long, especially in Thailand where, the numbers right now is always in the thousands, which is pretty much the new norm right now, I can see that working from home is going to be somewhat of a permanent fixture. Yes. Of course, working from home, there's pros of working from home. It enables you to save money on transportation, eating out, and whatnot. But working from home has its disadvantages as well. And whether we all realize it or not, it's starting to rear its ugly head. Or at least that I've noticed now. So for this episode of Surviving Thailand 101, we are going to be talking about the disadvantages of working from home and ways that we can fix that. So first things first, working from home makes you lonely and bored, especially being confined at home or your condo. Sure, you have the comfort of working from home, but really that's not the same as actually going out to work and having lunch with your friends. And you might be distracted and you find yourself eating more at home just because, your fridge is just a walking distance, right? A few steps away. And you might miss the interaction with your friends because, hey, we're all social animals, right? So the best way that we can basically fix the feelings of isolation as well as boredom is to allow yourself some well-earned breaks. Go outside for some fresh air. And working from home, you might become a bit too comfortable. You find yourself working from your bed rather than your workstation. Actually, it is more common than you think. I don't do it just because, I don't know. I feel lazy if I'm on my bed. But some people actually do it. Because some just prefer to, wake up, turn on your laptop, easy peasy, without having to physically move your body here and there, right? Or without having to walk. But by doing this, it's quite unhealthy. I just found an article from the Thai Health Promotion Foundation, and they said, working from your bed will eventually lead to ergonomic issues, causing problems to your muscles, neck, back, and hips. If your bed is extra soft, you probably wouldn't feel it as much, but according to the foundation, it will affect your bones and joints in the future. Other symptoms include headache and back aches, neck pain as well. But what if you can't avoid working from your bed? You tried really hard, got so far, in the end, it doesn't really matter because you love working from your bed. Or maybe you just have limited space working from your bed is pretty much inevitable. If you are in this situation where you need to work from your bed, you need to do it right. So firstly, when you sit on your bed, sit in a posture as if you are sitting on a chair, okay? This will help buffer your muscles and bones, and it will prevent any muscle aches and bone aches in the future. You can also use your blanket, roll it up, and use it as a lumbar support for your back as well. So it's very, very important. If you are lying down, which is, not really recommended when you're working, but I mean, if you do, just place a pillow underneath your legs. This will straighten your back, okay, to help prevent any back pains. When you are with your laptop, make sure you place it at a degree where it's not too low. This is to help you avoid looking down at your keyboard, hence hurting your neck. And I think this is really important because sometimes you are looking down at your keyboard for too long, and that really strains your neck a bit. So it's really important not to put your keyboard too low. And also, do not lie on your front too tight. Okay, I've never done this before, just because, if I do that, I would probably do it if I'm surfing the web for fun, but not when I'm working for sure. So if you do this, I mean, it is pretty bad because it will increase injuries to your neck and your elbows as well. And regularly shift your working position. You can stand and type, for example. I've never done the standing thing before, but I think it is very important to take regular breaks so that you don't get myofascial pain syndrome, or MPS, which is, a fancy way to describe muscle pain. And I used to have this back in the days. I think 6 years ago, I was, sitting and crouching at a really bad posture and just typing. And I was very stressed out. It was like a tense time because I was starting a new job and I wanted to do my best. So I was like crouched in a corner with like my shoulders just, lifted up. It was like going towards my earlobes, and it was in that like posture I was sitting for like hours and hours. It was so crazy that I had like these like major muscle inflammation, and it got to the point where it was like so hard. If you press my shoulders, you can see the muscles hardening, and it's not in a good way, it's in a bad way. It became inflamed. So I remember I needed to get acupuncture, which was recommended, and some physical therapy because it was just that bad. And actually on the side note here, acupuncture really helped because it helped, if I would describe the sensation of softening my muscles, if you will. So at first it was like really tense. It was really tight. It was really hard. But then, I went to the acupuncturist and it kind of like softened the muscles a bit. So it was really good. And it took a lot of physical therapy to kind of like, make my muscles less tense. So yeah, as I mentioned before, COVID-19 is becoming somewhat of a permanent fixture. So, I mean, if you guys haven't invested in some tables and chairs, a desk, a working station, it is a good time to do so, just to, prevent any pains and aches to your muscles and your joints too. And also because your office is your home, plowing your time in front of the computer for hours and hours without any break is pretty unhealthy, especially if you haven't been out or seen daylight for a while now. If you haven't seen sunshine, you're in a pretty bad spot. It's quite unhealthy. So, as I mentioned before, allow yourself, let's say for every 25 minutes of work, allow a 5-minute break so you don't accumulate stress as well. Also, it's for the health of your eyes as well. Your eyes need breaks as well, especially if they are just in front of the computer all the time, right? Number 3, the cons of working from home is that your electrical bill, it just kind of shoots up incredibly high. While you might save on commuting, but working from home really does drive up your electricity costs. My husband, he's a teacher. He works from home. I also work from home, and man, we do use a lot of air conditioner. It's for like the entire day now because it's just so hot. So my electricity cost, which used to be around like over 2,000, I guess, is now like 4,000. And just this month it's 5,000. It is crazy, insane here. So I guess one way to help lessen the burden is to use a power strip. So, when you're not using any of your appliances, you can just, switch it off, right? Using that, switch on the power strip, I think. I mean, I can't even imagine like ways that you can like save electricity at this time because it is pretty inevitable. You're working from home. You're indoors. It's really hot outside. I can't even imagine myself, working with the fan on. Come on. And the air conditioner that I have, it's an eco-saving model. So, I mean, it's just kind of crazy how the electricity bill is just, at an insane level right now. All right, number 4, the cons of working from home is lack of motivation and inspiration. If you remember the feeling of accomplishment after you completed an assignment at your office, working from home does not facilitate those feelings simply because you're at home. And motivation and inspiration are pretty important because they are the main driving force for, people to basically achieve their goals, right? If you're at an office, you have your colleagues and your boss as external motivation. You are inspired, you are motivated because you're working as a team. A unit, in order to achieve a common goal. Do that over Zoom is not the same thing as being there in person. Plus, your boss can become a great motivator after, face-to-face pep talks. There are a lot of distractions working from home as well. You might be distracted by your smartphones, just grabbing it to look at, the latest on Lazada or Shopee or something, which is like so me, or check the latest series, or even doom scrolling, which is just, scrolling to see the latest depressing news, which is also me. But what it is really is just discipline, I think. It's really important to set your priorities straight. If you basically treat working from home the same way you would treat it as if you were going into the office, by setting the environment right, then, working from home is pretty easy. And, if you can like discipline yourself, to cut any distractions, but allow yourself 5-minute breaks, to, indulge yourself and reward yourself a bit, then I think you're pretty cool. If you're lonely or bored, it's also important to reach out as well. I actually had my first Zoom meeting with my girlfriends recently, and I thought that was really, really neat. It was kind of exciting because I only use Zoom to study Mandarin and for work meetings as well. But, gossiping and chatting over Zoom is quite fun as well. Despite the pros and despite the cons, working from home, as I mentioned before, it seems like that it's here to stay. So, make sure you set your priorities straight and, discipline yourself. And, I think over time, you'll get the hang of it if you haven't gotten used to it. All right. And with that, you guys, I hope you enjoy this latest episode of Surviving Thailand 101. Have a wonderful day ahead. I'm Don Sini Kurtiyat Pimon Pon. Sawadee ka. Pon. Sawadee ka. Pon.